Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at KuCoin once more and just note that Bitcoin is doing very well. We're making higher highs and higher lows. We usually like to look at that, but I can tell you that it's just overall in good shape. We've had like two 6% days in the last 3 trading days and a healthy period of consolidation in between. So all in all, higher highs, higher lows are looking very good. Even if we have a slight dip here in the market from Bitcoin, I don't think it's going to adversely impact a lot of other altcoins because it's still staying steady. Okay, so as long as our next low, or basically our next higher low, essentially, that has to be up over 49,000, we'll be in good shape. All right, and also too, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade, and this is my dream job, essentially. I do this every day for work, so thank you so much to everyone for your continued support. Deeply appreciate you. That goes to my current community members as well. If you're not currently a member, you want to become a better trader, link in the description below, check that out in your own time. Be happy to help you with that. Now, moving forward with KuCoin, what we want to look at is a few key indicators and work our way down. So we're looking at the one-day chart. We can kind of see here, of course, we're still staying above the 50-day set moving average. That it wasn't even tested, honestly. It just kind of blew right past it 2 days ago. So this is really awesome stuff here from KuCoin, and it looks like we got a pretty significant increase overnight. So it's nice to wake up to some green bags there, right? At least in this regard. And KuCoin is testing the resistance level about 66 cents right now. So we'll see on a smaller time frame if that is a possibility for it to be able to break that level. But for right now, we can see that's doing very well, and it definitely looks like it's trying. We're up over 50 on the RSI still, which is excellent news. We had a MACD convergence as well a couple of days ago, and I think I'd mentioned this as well. It's important to respect and to acknowledge the fact that we have a shift in momentum, right? So when I covered this yesterday, we were just picking up over on the oscillator here, essentially telling us that the bulls have taken control officially and the bears are receding. So for lack of better terms here, that's a significant buy signal to go along, okay? Now, is there a guarantee on it? No, of course not, but it increases your odds of heading in the right direction, because what you're doing is you're getting in when the bulls are in control and the bears are lost control. You're no longer trying to find the bottom. Now, it wouldn't have been bad if you got in around 48 to 58 cents, don't get wrong, but it just implies that now, even at 66 cents, we're in good shape and the momentum has shifted to the upside, right? So why not get in when the tide is moving the direction you want to head, right? That's what I try to teach my members at all times, to make sure to wait for confirmation, and confirmation is price being up over a major support level, as well as the fact that we have those MACD convergences, and we could probably see one here as well. If we look back a little bit further, we saw one on the 20th here, as a matter of fact, that kind of gave us that indication of a buy signal when the price came back up over the resistance. Now, bear in mind, that was still considering lower highs and lower lows, but it did break that trend right here, and you can see it's been up ever since. So all good stuff here for KuCoin. We can see the price is over 50-day set moving average. It worked really nice as a support level there and took off. We're up over the 50-day, correction, the 200-day set moving average here as well, which is fantastic. So in the last 8 hours, we've seen the price blow past that, and now it's trying to break past 66 cents. Now, keep in mind too, when I say trying to break above, we want to make sure the one-day candlestick closes above this, but for right now, the 4-hour chart is kind of identifying that we're up over that presently. We're getting closer to 67, so it's very, very good stuff. The only thing I wouldn't say concerned about, because RSI up over 70 isn't terrible on the 4-hour chart. It's just that when you're up closer to 80 or 90, which we're at about an 85, it basically tells us that we are overextended. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to identify the fact that this line upwards is not ideal, right? I mean, you see that. Have you ever tried to walk up a flight of stairs that has one stair is higher than the other? It kind of throws you off, right? Well, the same scenario here as well. If this continues too much higher, we're going to expect a correction back down to the other side. Now, here's something to also kind of offset that. If you look in the past here with Crow, you can see it's done very well before, and kind of define the laws of trading. Now, that could happen again, but this is well overextended compared to what it's done before. It has done very well, of course, but it always has a tendency of correcting itself and then continuing upwards. So we should expect a correction soon. The fact that we haven't had one in a little while, the last 48 hours almost, is, I wouldn't say a cause for concern. It's just we got to acknowledge the fact that it shouldn't progress much higher. If it does, we're going to expect the price to come down even harder, okay? So why not have the price just kind of cool off and chill out for a little while? Again, we can't always get what we want, but that's essentially what we're hoping for. So take a look here at TD Sequential. Here's another thing to acknowledge, and this is a very common characteristic for KuCoin. it usually doesn't go much further than a 9. At least in the past, if you look at the data, which I was been evaluating this for pretty strong for the last few months, it hits a 9 and then it has a tendency of cooling off for a little while, right? So kind of, in a lot of ways, it does honor the traditional sense of the fact that it reaches an exhaustive state at a 9 on TD Sequential, specifically more so on the 4-hour as well. You can see we hit up to a 9 here now, and we should expect some type of consolidation. And it would make perfect sense to consolidate right at support, right? So why not consolidate just over 66 cents? If we get the price to hang out around 66 for next, just say 24 hours, we can expect a very Merry Christmas, right? The price can continue to go higher and be comfortable at that point, because we would have, this staircase pattern that I like to talk about. And, again, this is a big step, right? So it has to kind of cool off a little bit longer. Smaller steps don't need as long to consolidate, right? But when you have a large step like this, we probably want to have at least 24 to 48 hours before the price goes up again. Again, just something to think about. It doesn't necessarily have to happen, but that would be ideal. And here's another example too. We see we hit a 9 on TD Sequential here, and then we got a consolidation phase. Even though it went upwards, it's still consolidated. We got a nice little reset up to a 9, and here's that extra little leg up over support, or resistance rather, and then we should expect it. So I mean, if history is repeating itself, we'd take this little chunk right there and put it right here, and we should expect maybe 1 or 2 more hours worth of continuation, but likely consolidation at support to test this level here. So we're looking pretty good all in all. This is a very healthy continuation if you break it down a little bit smaller, and you can see that we've consistently hit these 9s and then tapered off. So we just need a little bit more tapering right now and we'll be in good shape. That would actually keep the cloud open too, if you will. In other words, the price will continue to go sideways, right? Say we get 24 hours of consolidation and it comes up, then the lagging span will be free of any price action and continue to progress upward as well. Therefore, not giving us any sell signals and allowing the RSI to calm down on the 4-hour chart closer to 70 and possibly bounce off of 70 to continue the upside. Again, this has all the healthy features of that. We just got to understand and again respect the fact that Bitcoin needs to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. If Bitcoin drops down lower than 49,000 right now, we're going to be in a little bit rougher shape, because then we'd break that higher low pattern and that would cause a bit of a ripple, if you will. But for right now, we're looking very good. KuCoin's very healthy, and I like this continuation, so I don't see any reason why the price would continue to progress downwards as long as we get a nice healthy consolidation at 66 cents for no less than 12 to 24 hours, right? We need a consolidation right now because we're overextended. Let's see here. Other than that, I can't really think of much else we really need to identify. Let's go ahead and quickly see how much volume we have accumulating since we've got this retracement, right? So give me just 1 second, pull up the charts. Here we go. All right. So let's go ahead and see. And this is very healthy. So good and bad here. In other words, it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, more good than bad. But what I want to say here is the fact that we have a strong amount of volume accumulation right around 55 cents. So obviously that's confirmed itself as a support. That price wouldn't go much lower than that, right? Obviously we hit 48, but it essentially reversed pattern there, right? We stopped making lower highs and lower lows and transitioned to higher highs and higher lows. Therefore, we're in good shape and we can consider 55 cents as a strong support if the price were to come back down. But the one thing to note too is we have the secondary volume channel here, right around 70 cents, which is in this range of where we're at presently. So if we can consolidate right at 66 for a day or two, then it'll have less trouble breaking that resistance based on the amount of volume in that area and continue to progress upwards. So all in all, I like what I see here. It's just that if this continues to try to push up to 72 or 77 cents in the immediate future, we'll see a significant rejection in that zone based on the fact that there's a lot of volume, and the bears would effectively want to take their profits and consider that being a selling opportunity. So to avoid that, we need more healthy continuation right here at 66 cents, build up that amount of volume at that level to allow for the price to increase higher. Okay. So again, this isn't bad nor good, right? You'll hear me say that a lot. It's kind of more neutral in that sense, and we're okay with neutral news as long as we get this continuation to the side and we don't get extra special greedy, so to speak, and the price keeps going higher. Now, one thing also to understand, a little caveat here, is that we are going to have a strange amount of volume over the holiday weekend when I would say the bears and the bulls, the traditional traders, the whales, so to speak, when they're out of the office. And it's just left up to the yous and me's, right? The layman traders. we're going to have more influence on the price action this weekend than normal. And it's kind of like a weekend, for example, even stronger though, because there's 3 days of continuation there in that sense. So if we see the price continue higher, which is a likelihood, that's based on our volume, not the regular volume, if you will, and that creates more volatility, right? So the price could shoot up a lot harder and faster. If that were to happen, I recommend you set profit targets and make sure you take some profits while you still can, because there will likely be a correction Sunday/Monday if and when the whales decide to come in and take their profits, which they commonly do on Sunday/Monday. And I say Sunday, Monday because Sunday in the US is Monday over in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world, and that's where those whales start taking their profits. And then, of course, Monday, traditional market opens, and that influences the price action too. A lot of different things to consider. Plus, futures are closed usually overnight on Saturday as well. So that's kind of one of those times where we see a unique fluctuation in price. A lot of things to factor in, but holidays get weird. So just note that if we go much higher right now from KuCoin, it's going to be kind of a bit of a red flag scenario. Okay, we just got to be mindful, and I highly recommend taking profits and not getting too greedy, unless of course KuCoin is your coin and you're just going to ride out from upwards of $2 to $3 whenever that happens. Okay, it will happen eventually. For right now, let's enjoy what we can for the moment. So thanks again for joining me here. Hopefully I made sense here with my explanation, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If we do not see you soon, Merry Christmas and all that good stuff if you do celebrate that holiday. We'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. See ya.